Hi everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my video today. We're going to talk about some of the latest news coming out of the cruise world, namely the extension of the contract for Frank Del Rio, CEO of Norwegian Cruise Lines. Got himself a new 3-year deal. We'll talk about some of the details there. And some of the comments being made by that gentleman regarding how long it takes for cruise ships to get ready. A couple other things. Thank you for being here, Traveling with Bruce. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, giving my videos thumbs ups, joining me on Facebook. 60,000 plus subscribers. Welcome one and all to the channel. Also, thanks for checking out my RedBubble store down below. The links are down below for RedBubble, picking up some TWB items to help support my cause. I really appreciate that. And also, if you're a real fan of this channel, join the Sponsor Member Hangout Show group. Join the group right here and become a sponsor member of this channel. Every Monday night we go live, 7 o'clock for sponsor members exclusively, and then 8 o'clock for the big show. And you like to hang out with the other followers of this channel, come on over. We have a lot of fun. All right, let's talk about Norwegian and the cruise business. Yesterday, I did a video talking about how the folks at Norwegian delayed the start of their cruising, their startup, I guess, the way I say it, until at least December. The reasoning, there's a lot of reasons for it, but I heard a quote attributed to Frank Del Rio, the CEO of Norwegian, and he elaborated a little bit about what he was saying. What he said was that it takes 60 days to get a cruise ship ready to start again. And this makes a lot of sense because we forget from time to time with this pandemic, there have not been paying passengers on board cruise ships for the most part since this past March. Today is October the 6th, so we're talking 6-7 months that a cruise ship has not had paying passengers on board. So of course the entire water system, the air conditioning systems, the navigation systems, all, the plumbing, you name it. I mean, everything has to be double checked now, tested, and you want to fire up a cruise ship that can handle 2,500 to 4,500 people quickly. Just go and flush every toilet on board the ship to make sure everything's working. You can't just run into the room, flush a toilet, and run out. No, you got to stand there, and you got to make sure that there are no funny sounds and no funny smells, and everything is doing what it's supposed to do. You got to check the faucets for the bathrooms. You got to check the showers. 2,000 cabins. Think about that. Then the crew quarters. You got to make sure everything is working down there. You got to make sure that the dishwashers are up and running, that pipes haven't come loose, or corrosion has seeped into the system, or there's just the water system. Then the air conditioning system, the electric system, the entire electronic systems for every part of the ship. I don't care what brand you're talking about, whether it's Carnival or Royal Caribbean, Disney. You're talking 2 months, because the kind of people that you send on board to check on the seaworthiness of a vessel, we're not talking about putting $10 an hour people to go and check it out. We're talking trained technicians who know how systems are supposed to work, right down to the most basic piece of the ship. All the bars, the ice makers, the stoves, the refrigeration systems down below, the freezer systems. The crew, when they would have left these ships, they would have left behind status reports on all the equipment, because there's a constant monitoring being done. And now it's time to, spiff the ship up if it's going to be brought into service. Time to take care of all those little things and, quote, turn everything back on. And get the crew. You've got to get your crew here. Some of these ships, these big ones here, you're talking 1,200, 1,400 crew members. There might be 1,100 on board, but 1 or 200 on standby, or 1 or 200 in rotation. These ships usually turn over a certain percentage of their crew every 30 days. And now you've got to, start the entire process for the entire crew all in one go. This takes massive coordination. Don't forget, you got to contact all the suppliers. So for all that booze, all those lobster tails, all the potatoes, the French fries, the mix, the sodas, every supply you can imagine, the detergents, the chemicals for the pools, all has to be ordered. Has to be made available for the very first day of the very first cruise when you restart a cruise ship. Now, over to Frank Del Rio. I promised you was going to talk about him. Frank signed a new 3-year extension on his work contract so that he will now be with the cruise line Norwegian until the end of 2023, and his base pay is basically going to be about $1.8 million a year. That's $150,000 a month for those of you who are mathematically challenged. $150,000 a month base salary. Can you imagine making that kind of money? He also has bonus clauses in his contract. If he performs to the best of his ability and he gets the cruise line making money, he can earn anywhere from a $3.6 million bonus up to a $7.2 million cash bonus. So that's between 200 and 400% bonus on top of his salary. How many of you out there, raise your hand, how many of you out there have been working all your lives and you've earned a 200% bonus on top of your base wage at your job one time, just one time? Can you imagine doing that? The other options, apparently he's being offered a $6 million bonus package with regard to a stock reward. So he'll earn $6 million of shares on top of everything else. He also has his automobile paid for. He has something like a $2,400 a month package that covers automobile payments, the insurance on the car, maintenance on the car, gas, fuel. And, he has personal health insurance. He also has what they call a severance package, where if the cruise line gets taken over by somebody else, he'll be paid so many years of his base salary as a guarantee to walk out the door. Because, hey, if you get taken over by somebody, you're out in the street, you haven't got a job because, the guy buying you out is going to take over your cruise line and you're out. Where are you going to get a job as a CEO of a cruise line in 1 or 2 weeks? So those don't come by very easy. So these top executives get payouts to make it a little easier to take if you get let go by one of these factors. There are all kinds of other incentives built into the contract. The $1.8 million a year base salary, that is the tip of the proverbial iceberg. There is much, much more below that. Anyway, I thought I'd mention that to you in case you have any interest as to these poor CEOs, if they can make enough money to make a go of it. I think Frank will do quite well, and he'll enjoy his next 3 years. As stressful as they might be, you take the edge off a little bit with a nice little contract like this. Wouldn't we all like to have this kind of a deal? Thank you for joining me today on this little sojourn down NCL Way and Cruise Ship Way. Let's hope we can be cruising sooner rather than later. Let's keep our fingers crossed that when we do go cruising, it'll be safe to do so. Thank you for joining me today and your support, and we'll talk to you next time, everybody. Bye for now.